I guess the goals of my position is to make the lives of each of the student bar associations at each of the 205 ABA approved law schools better. I like to call this position the president of the SBA presidents. I solve problems anywhere from how do I change something on our website and get us more involved in the ABA, to we want to sever our budget from the university's grad school. Those are all things that I've worked on in my 2 years. So the goals are just to be the conduit between the ABA and the individual student bar associations. So this position is much more open than a lot of the other ones. My duties aren't as defined. So I've gotten to work on a lot of what I call pet projects. So I'd really encourage anyone that's applying for this position to think of ways that they can improve law students generally as a whole, but also the student bar associations. So things that I work on reporting, which is making sure we have an ABA rep and an SBA president listed at all of law schools. I'm responsible for all of the other responsibilities that our governors and the other 7 national officers are responsible for. I'm responsible for kind of engaging the ABA sections, divisions, and forums with the student bar associations, so having the litigation section come to law schools and work with career services. So those are kind of the concrete things that I'm responsible for, but I've worked on partnering with outside bar associations. I've worked on a lot of legal education matters, like eliminating the pay credit ban for student externships. So you can do a whole bunch of things with this position that's not listed, and so the sky's the limit, I'd say. Over the last 2 years, I've probably traveled at least 3 times a semester to different places. They've been great. I went to law school in New York City, but I've gotten to go to California, Chicago, a bunch of different places. So there's a lot of behind-the-scenes grunt work that goes into the more glamorous parts of the job. But if you're willing to put in about 20-25 hours a month, I think you can really get a lot out of this position. Individually, you get to go to the section officers conference where that's the first conference that you'll go to as part of this position, and that happens in September. You get to stay at the Radisson Blu, which is a wonderful hotel. They have great jelly beans, don't forget I said that. But you get to meet with all the other officers of the other sections, so you're networking immediately with people from the section that you'll grow up in the ABA, your substantive section, and also the other divisions. You get to transition that to the other schools that you're working with, but the personal benefits are as much as you make it. I like to consider I've made a lot of friends within our Board of Governors, but also within the substantive sections. Lots of coffees have come out of this. Hopefully, once I'm done with my federal clerkship, a job will come out of it. But it's what you make it, and so if you're willing to put in a little bit of time and a little bit of effort, there's a lot of relationships that you can personally develop that you can translate into helping the schools that you work with, but also as a little bit of a perk of the job. You have to be outgoing. I think I won my candidacy both times because I had a concrete substantive plan and I could talk to anyone about it. I could relate on any level, and so to be successful you need to find something that you can identify. The SBA presidents are the only ones that would vote for you, so they're marked by a green sticker. You won't be able to miss it. Don't be afraid to just go up, say hi, my name is, and talk, and then discuss your platform and how you're going to implement it, because I think implementation is what people really want to see. You're dealing with the top official at each of the law schools amongst the law students, so they didn't get there by happenstance. They have goals too. So make sure that you have some sort of implementation plan. But also make sure you do your background and your homework. Make sure you know about the ABA, the inner workings, what's going on in law students, legal education, and all those things generally. And don't be afraid to ask people for help. You meet people from all over the place. I grew up in Pennsylvania and I'm from New York City, and I, from this, have friends in Kansas City, Missouri, in California, and there are people that will be invited to my wedding. They're great. And so you meet law students that are like you, just that you would never have the opportunity to. You also meet the most important people in the ABA, the president-elect, you get to meet all the officer candidates, you sit with people, you get to chat with people in the House of Delegates if you stick around for those days. But most importantly, you get to meet people in leadership positions at each of the law schools. I know that I'll always have friends that graduated from Louisville, or I know that I'll always have friends that went to the University of Kansas City, Missouri, because I worked with them and I helped them solve problems. So you meet some of your lifelong friends here, but you also meet, like I said, those people that you're going to network with and hopefully gain a bit of help along the way in your career path from. It's a lot of knowledge that you get in this position, and I think that if you're interested in applying, you definitely should. It's afforded me great opportunities over the last 2 years, and I think that it has really shaped my 3 years in law school. So I definitely would think that it's not just about the people you meet, but the experiences that you're going to get.